They say when you run from fire, the smoke follows. But nobody tells you that sometimes the fire turns back on those who lit it. Lagos swallowed me whole. Noise. Also, new faces that didn't know my shame. The city never sleeps, but I was wide awake, watching the world move while I stood still. I rented a small room with peeling paint and a window that refused to close properly. But for the first time in months, I slept without crying. Healing is not loud. Healing is waking up and realizing you didn't think of them first. I worked hard. Too hard. Because work kept my mind busy and my heart guarded. Exhaustion became my only friend, the only thing that could silence the noise in my head. Then the calls started. Unknown numbers. Late nights. Missed calls that rang once and disappeared. I didn't answer. Back home, the cracks were forming. I heard stories through whispers, the African way. A cousin's friend. A neighbor's sister. A church woman who talks too much. They said Nadine no longer smiled easily. They said Luca came home late, smelling of excuses. He drank to forget, but memory is stubborn. It sits at the bottom of the glass and stares back at you. They said elders were visiting their house more often than normal. Marriage in Africa is not just between two people. When it shakes, the whole village feels it. Nadine was pregnant, but peace had not followed her womb. She accused Luca of still looking for me. He accused her of insecurity. She cried. He shouted. Love turned into surveillance. One day, my mother called. Amora, she said quietly, your name has entered their house again. I closed my eyes. Apparently, Luca had spoken during an argument. In anger. In weakness. If I wanted Amora, I would have married her, he said. Those words landed like a curse. From that day, Nadine changed. She stopped eating well. She checked his phone obsessively. She followed him to places she pretended were coincidence. Peace had left their home long ago, replaced by the ghost of the woman they both betrayed. And then, karma cleared her throat. The baby came early. Too early. The cries were weak. The hospital bills were strong. Luca's family began to complain. Stress did this. A woman who fights her own shadow cannot carry peace. And Nadine. She remembered me. She sent a message. Amora, please. I need to see you. I stared at the screen for a long time. The same woman who slapped me. The same woman who wanted me close. I replied with one sentence. I am no longer where you left me. That broke something in her. Because when you build your happiness on someone else's tears, you will always fear the day they stop crying. The road back was long, but necessary. I was returning not as a victim, but as a survivor. Weeks later, I returned home briefly. Not for them. For myself. I had changed. My back was straighter. My silence heavier. At a family gathering, our eyes met. Nadine looked smaller. Not physically, spiritually. Luca couldn't look at me at all. That was my victory. No shouting. No revenge. Just presence. As I stood to leave, Nadine whispered, he still asks about you. I leaned close and replied softly. Tell him some doors don't reopen. They turn into walls. She understood then. This was no longer a love triangle. This was consequence. And as I walked away, I knew part 4 would not be about pain. It would be about exposure. To be continued in part 4.